Good morning, friends. Gabe, Eltaeb, Big Man Comics Live. It's Friday, of course, so it's Daditude. Jericho Green will be in shortly joining us here. We're going to have a great time. Going to talk about being Padres and not the amazing San Diego Padres who open their season in just a few weeks here in San Diego. But, fathers. I like to talk about that. I like to talk about culture, what's going on, and what we're going to do about it. We have a lot of fun with that. He's running a little bit late because he's doing a fatherly thing this morning. He had to tell me he had to run a field trip permission slip to school. Do you guys remember field trips? How great that. What's the deal with field trips? Sorry, that was my horrible Seinfeld. I'm having a good day. Woke up late again. I slept funny. I don't know what the hell happened. I woke up at 2 a.m. and then just stomach was bothering. I ate a hamburger very late. I worked very hard yesterday and I worked till like 10 at night. I worked pretty late, and then I'm really hungry because I hadn't eaten since like noon. So I'd been about 9-10 hours, and I ate a burger like at 9:30 or 10. And then at 2 a.m, my stomach was like kind of doing flips. So it wasn't fun. Didn't go back to sleep till like 5. So I woke up late today, which sucks because that means I'm going to finish late again today. But okay, we'll catch up eventually. That's what the weekend is for, I guess. I don't work on Sundays typically. I do work on Saturdays currently because I'm working on the Unstoppable Tyrus, which is coming on great. I'll show you the page I did yesterday. Here it is right here. It was page 62, guys. How great is that? That the book is more than halfway done. But I'm not going to explain what's going on because I don't want to spoil it for you. But there's Tyrus and Cindy and Tuku and Siete. And that's all I'm going to tell you there. That could possibly be a flashback, some more talking. I am having so much fun with this stuff, though. This is all drawn all inked by me, illustrated pencil layouts by Akion, master illustrator, and then the inks are by me. I'm having a blast inking this stuff. And I'm obsessed with this move right here. I call it the zigzag. It's a new inking technique that I've really mastered in the last week. It's something I've loved since I was a kid. I would see Scott Williams do it on X-Men comics, the zigzag thing like that. And I used to be able to build it one line at a time, but I figured out how to do it like by hand. It's funny that in art like this, there are like moves, like a basketball player learning to shoot a free throw and different things like that. And even at 46 years old, I'm adding moves to my arsenal. So Mighty Geek Studios is here. Antonio 707 is here. None the Miser is here. Haven't been on a field trip in many years. Many years. Yeah, there was a freak out yesterday. I don't know what that was. I just cammed the stream because I was like late to it yesterday. Then there was a technical thing, and it was just like, ugh, whatever. When are you dropping your rap track from yesterday? Dude, that was it yesterday. That was my disc tape. Who was I could do a Biden disc tape. That's a little easy. Maybe we'll do a Kamala disc tape. Jericho's the black delegation of the show. I'll ask Jericho when he comes in. So, hey, Tammy D is here. Guys, Jericho will be in a minute. He told me he had to run to the school and drop off a field trip permission slip. So I'm caught a little flat-footed, but a secretary not sure. I'm here too. All right. Hey, baby, what's up? Guys, hit the like, hit the share. I love seeing the same people show up over and over. We'll build a community. Why do they have to ruin all these words? Like trauma is a real thing that happens to people. Now, if you say something about trauma, you sound like one of them. And you know what I mean? Like, and you do want your group, your tribe, your community. But as soon as you say that word, you see the letters come out of your mouth. And you're like, you try to grab them back. Why? Why did these purple hair weirdos ruin this stuff? I don't know. Wait, is this? Oh my gosh. I was wondering about Tammy and Aruma Faye. They were staples on Double Impact on Wednesday nights for like 2 years, and they disappeared into the ether. There's another one I'm worried about, Mark's Music Obsession. I liked him a lot. He was a smart guy with thoughtful commentary, and he was always like here first, and I haven't seen him in a few weeks, but this is the nature of YouTube, man. You get friendly with some people, and then sometimes they go. Now, Tammy, Tammy, I think she lived in Florida currently, used to live in Ohio, and the other thing I remember about Tammy, I hope I get this right. I'd be embarrassed if this is wrong. It used to be the head of like a car club or something, or deeply involved in a classic Mustang club or something like that. I pay attention, guys. Oh God, I hope that I have that information right. If that was some other lady, then I'll be a little embarrassed. Tammy says life happened. Well, I hope you're okay. I hope it's going good. But Jericho will be here in a bit. He was just running off. But I want to show this stuff up. I just thank you guys so much for what you've done, supporting me in what I do here. We're having so much fun. Here's a little behind the scenes, little inside baseball. This stuff, these dots, I put them on a different layer. This is the advantage of working digitally. And this could help the colorist and stuff like that with some technical things when they go to color it. I'm glad to not be coloring this. I got a guy, he's like a 30-year Marvel Comics veteran, and he's coloring my books for me now because I colored enough. I colored thousands and thousands and thousands of pages for the better part of 15-something years, and I do not want to color comics ever again like that. Shout out to the people that do it because it could be a grind. But Tammy says, Secretary of the Mustang Club of Ohio. See, I remembered that. Oh, man, it would have been embarrassing if that wasn't you. That's, I was, I won't say who, talking to a young man I know. And he, like, took a girl, I think, to a place where he took another girl, like, the night before. Like a Jack Tripper from Three's Company kind of situation. And I think the waiter actually said, oh, back again or whatever. And then when the waiter left, he had to, like, roll it off. Like, oh, yeah, I've been here before. I like it. But he didn't say, oh, yes, I was here last night with another woman that is not you. So, yeah. Secretary Not Sure says, what drawing app do you use? I use Procreate on the iPad. It's hard. I need a drink. I had a big greasy bacon and egg English muffin for breakfast. My wife makes for breakfast every morning because she's the best. She's a loving, submissive Latina. None of that mouthy bitch stuff. Nothing like that from her. It's good. The drawing app I use is Procreate. The great thing about Procreate, it's $9.99. Pay for it once. No subscription, no in-app purchases, nothing. Let me get another drink. Sorry, guys. Sometimes you eat a little something like greasy like that. You get a little bit of heartburn, then it makes you cough. Weird. Tammy says, smack the like. Thanks, Gabe. I had to leave a beauty behind. Oh, I hope she's talking about the Mustang Club and not any person. But yeah, I use Procreate to draw this book, what you're seeing right here. That is what we're doing. And I'm on page 62. I'm drawing a page a day. So I'll be done sometime in May. But yeah, I couldn't be having more of a blast on this. I'm about to rewrite the Dean Cain All-American Lawman script. I write my scripts like 3 or 4 times. Look at this. This is so much fun. Not going to explain the story to you because I don't want to spoil it. But look at the body language of this woman turning here. It's great. It's phenomenal. I'm going to do my Jim Rome impersonation. But yeah, this is my passion. And you guys, you're part of the journey. Why do the liberal people ruin these concepts and ideas? But you are. You made it come true. Thank you so much. Hera Cleaves, what iPad do you use, and do you find it hard to get used to layers and digital art on it? I'm using an iPad Pro from 2021, and it still works like still a workhorse. I do want to get a new one, maybe in the summer, something like that, and I'll hand this one down to my wife because she's always using it for other web stuff when I'm not drawing on it. So I'll give her that. It's a beast. It has an M2 chip in it, but I think they're up to M4 or M5 chips now, which are way orders of magnitude stronger. I cannot recommend the Apple stuff enough. As far as using layers in art, I've been using Photoshop since 2000. So I would consider myself an absolute digital art expert. I think the next book I do, though, that I illustrate all by myself. When I work with Akeon, he's doing digital pencils, I'm doing digital inks. But I prefer this is real pencil and ink, a real pen, paper, ink, all that. I prefer this, the 11 by 17 boards. But if I did Tyrus that way, it would take longer because there are like shortcuts in digital art where you can edit faster. If you make a mistake, you just erase it. If I make a mistake on that paper board, I'm going to have to get white paint out, paint over it, wait for it to dry, blah, blah, blah. Perspective is much easier digitally too. So don't believe what anyone tells you. It doesn't do the drawing for you. It doesn't do that. But it does speed things up just because some of the technical tedious stuff for drawing by hand, it does speed that up quite a bit when you work digitally. So, but yeah, I would recommend it if you can afford it. It's not cheap. The iPad Pro is at least like the iPad Pro with the extra memory and the best processor and the keyboard like folio. So here's the iPad itself, right? Just this thing here, and it magnetically sticks to this keyboard. This keyboard's like $350, but it's outstanding. But it's $350. The iPad is like the top line was like $3,000. Then that white pencil on the edge there, that thing is like $130, $140. So out the door, you're just under $4,000. But since this is my profession, it's a tax write-off. So whatever. I'm happy to buy it because A, I need it, and B, at tax time, when I'm paying my awesome taxes to Gavin Newsom in the state of California. Did you know that Medi-Cal, the California medical insurance, Medi-Cal, it's the government, is insolvent. They're asking for a federal loan to the tune of billions of dollars because Gavin Newsom has at least 700,000 illegals with free health insurance here. Free. Don't have to pay. Come to my country illegally and get health insurance. Guess if my wife and I have free health insurance, because we don't, but I can foot the bill for tons of other people. That's nice. That's the Democrat way, though. But yeah, this is beautiful work. Beautiful, as a Bugs Bunny would say. So yeah, it's a tax write-off, and believe me, I want every legit bit of tax write-off I can get. The non-binary stick people, Tammy, I don't feel right telling them what gender they are. And Tony says, afuera. Sí, senor. We need Doge. We had a guy here, he's the San Diego guy. I've met him. He's a Republican, Carl DeMaio, and he was in the state. He's an elected official. I forget if he's a state congressman or what he is right now, but he was doing like his own Doge thing like 2-3 weeks ago at the state level, and they kicked him off some of those budgetary committees because he was like, hey, what's this? And he exposed that the Medi-Cal is insolvent. No money, no dinero. We have the highest taxes in America. The highest state tax is 14%, and that's what we have here. Thank goodness I have an amazing tax accountant. And then the let me close this. And then we have the highest sales tax. California sales tax is like 10-11%. So you go out and buy, a taxable item at the cash register, you got to add 10-11% in your head. $300 item, that's simple math. $30. It's like, oh, how much is it? $300. No, it's $330 in California. Then your wages, 14% of my money. Holy shit, dude. How do you live there? I live in the best city on earth. There are obviously downsides to living here, right? The government is one of them, but you will find you can't find a more beautiful place than California. You can't. It's impossible. This is the absolutely most stunning place you can live. It really is. And I stand by that, and I'll never back down from that. It's I don't know. I think living in California is like having a gorgeous girlfriend who lies and cheats on you and all that, but she's so hot. She's like Cindy Crawford, 1993 hot. You're kind of blinded by that. We have perfect weather here. I'm not lying when I say this. It's 65 to 75 degrees at my house year round. It just is. And the skies are blue year. It doesn't rain here, man. We just had 3 days of rain, and we had rain like 3 weeks ago. I don't think we had rain since October. It's just breezy blue skies. It's beautiful. It's not humid. I'm inches away from the ocean. It's not humid here. It's not all steamy like the South, like Florida and all that in Texas. It's like, it's just amazing here. And there's so much rich history and just the food and like the things to do. It's a beautiful place to live. It's very expensive. You do have the liberal majority in the government, but it's my home. Like I moved here in 1986 when I was 8 years old. I moved away to go to college, but my wife was born here. My children were born here. Like this is my home, and it's worth fighting for. Because look, America got super far left shit under Biden, right? But none of you left, right? Even though it was going in a horrible direction, you didn't leave like, no, this is America, damn, I'm going to stay and I'm going to vote. It's the same thing at a smaller level. Like, yeah, this is California, the Golden State. People used to love to come here and make their dreams come true. And you still can. They've made it harder. But like the tide is turning. We had a California liberal, foolish moron. He proposed a bill in the state Senate or the state Congress last week that defending your home with a gun, if an intruder came in, you couldn't shoot them because that would be, murder and all this stuff. And they were going to try and make it illegal to, castle doctrine, like defend your home. He withdrew that bill and said, oh, you guys didn't understand this, that. Because social media got a hold of it. And I retweeted. Amy Reichert is this amazing lady in my district area here in California. And she's always like tweeting against the horrible San Diego Democrats. There's some here that are doing some real bad things. And, social media really pressured that guy he withdrew the bill yesterday. Like, oh, never mind. So there, a little bit of tide turning, a little bit there. They had some wacky ass like gun law they passed And the governor, Gavin Newsom, vetoed it because he knows if he runs for president, he can't pass stuff like that. So I think the fires in LA and all that, there's a petition to recall Mayor Bass and all this stuff. And I think that the tide can turn. The tide turned for America. Look how far left, crazy. Look at what Elon has exposed, what our government was doing that you didn't know about. What you knew they were doing with Biden was horrific. What you didn't know they were doing with USAID and all that, it's a million times worse. And it's being stop is being put to it. So I believe in victory. I believe we can overcome what's happening in California because this is the place to be. It is the best place to live on earth. I went to Hawaii on vacation, 2017, like 8 years ago, and I'd lived in Hawaii for a brief period when I was a little boy. And like Hawaii, the beach is like the beach by my house, my beach, the one I go to, better than any beach in Hawaii. Like there's no reason to live anywhere else. It's that beautiful here. And it's very expensive to live here. An average home, like a 3-bedroom, 1,200 square feet. That's like not too big. It's $1 million here in San Diego. Yes, over $1 million. And so it's hard to get in, but if you can get in here and get going, sky's the limit, man. It's awesome here. Gas being taxes. Oh, no, that's another one. They were going to add another 60 cents tax in California, and Gavin Newsom and all that, they put a stop to it. Like, oh, we got to do a 120-day review to see if we really want to do this. Of course they want to do it, and they want to rip us off and use the money for illegals and transgender mice surgeries or whatever. But you see the tide turning a little bit. You do. Culturally, the vibe shift with Trump, it's real, man. And with X and Elon Musk, what they're doing, pushing it out there and hammering the drum of persuasion. People act on what they believe, and persuasion is how you get people to believe things. And there's a really, really good anti-woke persuasion going on. So I believe California will change. Secretary, not sure. He lives right here, right by me. Yes, we're lucky. Basically 2 seasons here. Yeah. Antonius, we pay for the weather. Yes, absolutely. I now live in Clearwater, Florida. That is the home of Pastamania, where Hulk Hogan is. Can't wait to deal with people for spring break. I moved in between the 2 hurricanes last fall. Fun. Fun, till our daddy takes a T-bird away. I better not sing that. I want YouTube to like take the money. I played a reggae air horn the other day, just on the show. One blast like that. And YouTube said, that's this other song that had some horns in it and is giving some of my ad money from Double Impact the other night to that. I didn't appeal it. I'm right. I didn't take anyone's music. But they misinterpreted one air blast horn. It's so stupid. Newsom is going to run. He's going to try to be the head of the Rats. Right. Let me tell you something. You need to go look at videos of Gavin Newsom. He started a podcast. Gavin Newsom, I hate to say this, he will be president, very likely. I think he will be one of the worst presidents this country could ever have. He's not woke. He's not a far leftist or anything. He's a psychopath who has no morals. It's all power and money. He will do or say anything. Watch him in interviews. He's like a bar soap slipper. You cannot corner this guy. He's a brilliant politician. I tell people that and they get mad at me like I support him. Oh, I don't support him. I voted for the recall, all of it. I don't want him running this place. But if you deny what an amazing politician he is, you are an idiot. You're not an idiot, but you're lying to yourself because you don't want to admit that. He is a masterful politician. He can just get out of anything. He doesn't look guilty. He doesn't look bad. His rhetoric is so good. The only person I've ever seen destroy him is Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla had him on the show when he was the mayor of San Francisco, like 15, 20 years ago, and started asking him about, it was the ID thing, how black people and Mexican people and all I think it was the voter ID issue. Like, oh, black people don't have IDs and this and that. And no, it wasn't that. It was another racial thing. It was, he was going after payday money lending things, which are vicious and predatory, where people could go get their paycheck a week or two in advance. And he was saying that those places were racist. And Adam cornered him with the concept of, well, why does this just happen to black people and Hispanics? So is there something different about them? And Gavin Newsom tried to, that's racist. So he's like, no, it's white people too. And Jewish and Asian and every other kind. And Adam's like, yeah, but you said it was black and Hispanic the most. Why? What's wrong with them? And they went, you got to find it on YouTube. It's such an amazing video. And he went back and forth, basically saying, what you're saying is racist about black and Mexican people, saying they're too stupid to like not use payday loans, Gavin Newsom. And he was backtracking, but that's the only time I've seen someone get him. Every other time, dude is the slipperiest shit ever. He is so good. So Clearwater Beach is the best beach ever. I live 15 minutes from the Gulf of America. That's right. It's the Gulf of America. It is not the Gulf of Mexico. Jason Bateman in reality. Absolutely. Jason Bateman wishes he was Gavin Newsom, dude. I know, Gabe. I feel he's the same way. He's Pig Losey's nephew. Yeah, he likes to talk about his hard scrabble upbringing. Gavin Newsom, a single mother. Dude, his dad was like the general counsel, like the lead attorney for Getty Oil. Like he's comes from Bucks, dude. She'll be back. She's got to take the dog out. Well, yes, thank you for coming in. Guys, everyone hit the like, hit the share. We're going to grow this morning show, and we're going to wait for our friend Jericho to come in. He's quite late, though. But yeah, Gavin Newsom, if they're able to derail Trump for 4 years and all these judges, they rule, every day you hear, oh, judge rules Trump isn't president and the judge is actually charged. The Babylon Bee had a great one this morning. It says, federal judge rules that he is now president. And I don't like any of this. Article 2 of the Constitution, Trump is in charge of the executive branch, and every single person in the executive branch holds all the departments, basically. Trump can hire and fire them because he doesn't like the color of their shoes. And all this shit that these federal judges like, you can't do that. You can't stop USAID. You can't fire the department. Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can. He can fire, special counsels. He can fire Department of Justice attorneys. He can do it. He's the king of the executive branch, and he can just do it at a whim. I don't like that guy's tie. I don't like that guy's nose. Fired. That's his right. That it's in the Constitution. Sorry, but you have these stupid federal judges, and what they do, they know what they rule against Trump isn't going to work. But it'll muck things up and throw things down, slow things down. Destin is the best beach in Florida. The sand is like powdered sugar. I remember my grandparents had this giant bottle, but it probably wasn't giant. When you're a little kid, things look giant. The bottle looked like it was as big as me when I was like 4 or 5. And in it was white sand. And they said they got it on a vacation to Florida. Man, I hope that was sand. But I remember there was like sand and some seashells. And it was like, the 5-gallon jugs for water. It's real big and it has a little top. It was like that, only it was glass. As a kid, I would like pull it over and pull it up and like swish the sand around inside. But in my memory, it was, the size of a house. But it's funny when you're a kid, these things look so big. And then as an adult, you look at it. I remember when I was like 13 or 14 years old, had a piece of toast in my hand and it looked like a cracker. It was so little. And as a little kid, you're trying to eat toast with 2 hands and it looks like the biggest thing in the world. So, oh wait, someone's texting me. Oh, Jericho Green is texting me now. Email me the link. No one sent Jericho the link. Copy. Oh, so that's why he's in. I was like, where the F is Jericho? Jericho link. Hold on. Paste. We'll get Jericho's opinion on Gavin Newsom. Send. Okay. I emailed it and I'll text it to you, brother. Okay. Okay. So Jericho will be in shortly. He was texting me for the link to come in here. I should have been done a while ago. I mean, it would be a nightmare if Gavin Newsom became our president because he'll just say yes to whatever gets him more ego, more power, more prestige, more whatever. And we've seen it here in California. Some of the most far left stuff, he's like, no, and he's vetoed it but not because he has any morals, because he knows that'll be thrown in his face when he runs for president. But he absolutely needs to be the face of the Democrat Party. But here's the problem for the Democrats. Gavin Newsom is white and male and handsome. So he's everything they resent, right? Because they resent beauty and excellence and, money, intelligence, achievements, handsomeness, virility, power. And he has these things. And the fat, ugly, purple-haired weirdo losers that the Democrats are, they are. Being ugly is left-wing coded, right? Right? Being the beautiful homecoming king and queen, that's right-wing coded. The varsity quarterback and the head cheerleader, that, when you think like, yeah, that's right-wing. And then the ugly weirdo with the glasses and the clothes that don't fit, and they're on the chess club, and they're, sloppy fat gut hanging over their belt. That's left-wing coded. And you see the left just resents the right because they're like, you're the homecoming king. Gavin Newsom's the homecoming king. He is. You can tell ladies like the guy. You can tell that just by the look of him. He's intelligent. He's white. So how do the Democrats who hate the white man and hate good-looking people, hate rich people, hate successful people, how do they run him? Because he is their best bet, dude. Did you see him when he debated Ron DeSantis? I'm not a DeSantis guy either. His fans, Ron DeSantis supporters, really turned me off because they were so like anti-Trump and all that. And you'll see them online to this day crying about, well, Trump isn't perfect. If only we had DeSantis. And I'm like, eh. So I was a DeSantis supporter to a degree, but always a Trump guy first. And here he is.
Sup?
Oh,
stuff.
nothing. Oh, nothing, you. So let's see. We're just talking about the future president of the United States, Gavin Newsom. That's all.
That's why I felt like I wanted to shit my pants. Man, that would be a fate worse than death.
Do you deny that he's capable of it? Dude, he is that good of a politician. He's a horrible human being, terrible leader, has helped ruin California. You see him in interviews. No one can get him. He's so charming and such a psychopath. I was telling people the only time anyone ever got him was the time Adam Carolla had him on the podcast and destroyed him about payday loans. It's like bad. 9 minutes straight of Adam Carolla just working him over, you know, like where the ref has to stop in and end the match, has to jump in and end the match. But no one can get Gavin. He beat Ron DeSantis in that debate. Like, he'll veto the correct things in California, you know, that the crazy Democrat legislature here they'll pass it, the Congress, the Senate. It gets to Newsom's desk. He's vetoed some of their wacky far left stuff because he knows they'll throw it in his face when he runs. I think he has a very good chance of being president, especially if these federal judges that keep mucking up Trump are able to just slow down Trump enough where this stuff doesn't work. Now, it looks like the Trump stuff is working, man. The gas price is going down. The egg price is going down. Peace with Israel and Gaza. Peace with Russia and Ukraine. It's all seems to be working with Trump. But remember the last Trump 4 years, how much they fucked with him. So if they're able to fuck up Trump and Vance and it just doesn't look great after 4 years, Newsom can ride on that, dude. And he's so charming and smart. But let me ask you a question, and you answer for me. Right before you came in, I was saying, but here's the stupidity of the left. They painted themselves in a corner with Gavin Newsom because they hate men. They hate white men, and that's what he is. He's handsome, rich, white, male, successful. They resent and hate all those things. How do they sell him to their base? How do they get that base that is so racist against whites, so sexist against men? How do they get their base to stand there and clap for
that? I will go back to a saying that I heard from somebody that's smarter than me, and it actually has to do with the Israel and Gaza, or Israel and the Palestinians. Here, we'll say that. Though the conflict between those two will stop when a Palestinian mother loves her son more than she hates the Jews. So the left is going to keep putting straight white men in there like they always do until their hate for whatever they're doing, or their hate for Trump and anything with his fingerprints on it overshadows everything. Right. So even though Gavin Newsom is a straight, white, and handsome male, Trump's worse. His people are worse. They're Nazis. So, and look what they do every time. Straight white men, they're the worst thing in the country. They're domestic terrorists. They're colonizers. And who do they put in there every time, except for Obama? Yeah. So that's what they do. They can talk all that shit that they want, but as long as their hate for Republicans is more, they're going to keep putting in those people that they claim to hate. And he fits the bill perfectly. If you can put a straight white male factory somewhere, you're going to spit out a bunch of Gavin Newsoms. And like you said, he's slippery. He's serpent-like. You can't get a grip on him. And that'll take him pretty far. But I think the way that Trump was elected, the overwhelming support that he had from the majority of voters, and everybody came together, because you can't stomp somebody out politically like that without a little bit of everybody coming to the table. So I think that's going to carry a lot of weight. I think, and I hate these terms and phrases that have just been beaten into the ground, but I think people have woken up. Ugh, hurts my stomach to even say that.
Are you saying that people got woke?
No, don't. Actually,
woke is a term from ABV. Do you know what ABV is?
Hold on.
BAV. I know it's Black American vernacular.
Oh, so stupid.
Where do they come up with this shit, dude?
They're not smart enough to come up with that. Somebody else comes up with that and feeds it to them, and human centipedes it into their mouth, and then they go around, puking it up on everybody else. But I think there was a time when Newsom pretty much had a pathway to the White House, but
I think he does.
He could.
Have you seen his podcast?
I saw a clip from it, and it looks, if you like hand movement, you're going to love Gavin Newsom's podcast.
Dude, Tyrus had the best tweet ever about that. Did you see it? On Gutfeld last night, he said he was negotiating with a prostitute. It was sign language with a prostitute. It was so funny. I wish I could play a little bit, but I don't know what YouTube will do about that because it is from the Gutfeld show.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, go check.
I mean,
that
it doesn't need the audio. You can see, like pretty much what he's saying. But it reminds me of an old skit from Mad TV by Brian Callen. It was one of those infomercial guys, and it was all about he's all you need to get your life in order. And if you buy my book right now, that was the whole comedy of the skit, was this guy being really handsy. That's who Newsom reminds me of. He is the liquid Terminator. He's been built for this. He's the newer, more upgraded model.
Don't think he doesn't have the whole machine behind him. He's Pelosi's nephew, dude.
For sure.
That's deep. That is some deep stuff there. So
we're calling in all the favors where she's gonna do everything she can to get him in there. He'll definitely have the money, but so did Kamala. right? He's the first.
Tyrus was going he was like, okay, first we're gonna do this, then a little bit of this, then I do this to you, then you do this to me. No? Okay, well, what if we do this? And dude, you gotta see Tyrus's thing for that. It's so funny.
Man, he's right, because Newsom is very handy, but that's part of it. Everything he does, Gavin Newsom, when he wakes up, and he doesn't even wake up on accident. He wakes up at a certain time, he puts on certain clothes, nothing he does is not calculated. Every move he makes is calculated. This podcast coming out, even though we think it's a pile of dog shit, and it probably is. That doesn't matter. He just needs to pad his resume. I've had podcasts. I've gone here. It doesn't matter if he fails at all of it. It just needs to be on paper. And he's gonna have a serious machine behind him, and that charm. He's gonna have the ladies sewed up. The ladies, you're gonna have to fight your vagina, telling you to support Newsom, because he is the equivalent of
who's this guy.
Yeah, the American Psycho.
Yeah.
He's a California psycho. Right. But he's the equivalent of a woman coming out who's gorgeous and big tits and a big butt. Hey, boys. Like, if there was a candidate like that, the men would have to, hey, downstairs brain, shut up. I need to really do some homework and vote for this woman or not.
That's not how men work.
Exactly. So if you have the male version of that for the ladies, which is Gavin Newsom, it's going to be tough, because that little son of a bitch. But if you listen to him, hey, I'm not running. I don't want it. I'm focused on California. That's calculated. He's saying those words.
So exactly. If this lady was asking you for something, Jericho, you'd have a hard time staying focused.
I mean, maybe there's a chance.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. I love that. Right. I remember when I was a little kid. I love this movie. Roger Rabbit, by the way.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Right. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? And this is the lady from
Jessica Rabbit.
Romancing the Stone is the voice actress. What's her name?
Kathleen Turner?
Kathy Turner. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, she has that smoky, loungy.
She has that. It's 2 a.m. You're at the lounge. There's only one MILF left, and she's like drinking and smoking at the same time.
And you're like,
what the hell?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Kathleen Turner had a movie where she was like a private investigator. It was V.I. Warshawski.
Right.
That's what it was. Dude, that movie, that's one of those 80s gems that just slipped by, man. That was a good one. That was the equivalent to like Arnold's Red Heat. It's not a really known Arnold movie. It's not Terminator or Predator or anything like that, but it's a good one. Red Heat was good. And
can I show you
Warshawski, that was a shit.
I remember that name. So Jessica Rabbit, if you're wondering, the point of her character is to be a sexy siren in this crime comedy animated movie. The point is to be sexy. Boobs, butt, hips, hair, makeup. Yes, that is the
nailed it.
Here's another beautiful thing that Disney did. I don't know if you know about this, Jericho, but I want your full reaction. This right here, on the right, the red, the one in color, that is a animatronic statue. When you go up to Anaheim, Los Angeles, go to Disneyland and go to the Roger Rabbit tune car ride. You ride a car and there's a little story detective shit. Like 5-6 years ago, the ugly, fat, woke feminist did this to that statue.
So she's Dick Tracy now?
Well, they got to cover her sexy body because reasons.
What about the millions, hundreds of millions of children who saw that before? What about them? What about their trauma from
I just want to
seeing?
know what you think of the ugly, ugly, ugly feminist woman or the soy boy white knight or the two of them that were behind the decision. What goes through their head? What does the ugly leftist feminist think when she sees a woman like that and she sees me looking at it, enjoying it? What
She's
happens to her
angered.
brain?
She's angered. What little brain is in there? It gets all. He's looking at her. He wants her. Exactly. It gets all Tasmanian devil. You know, it gets all nuts. She gets mad. She gets enraged because he's not looking at me like that. She's not thinking.
You fat purple-haired lady. If you looked like that, then I'd look at you like that.
But see, that's the hater's mindset. She's not thinking, how can I get him to look at me? I'm just going to be mad that he's not looking at me. And if looks is what you want, then you got to take the steps to get him. You can't just be mad that you're not getting him. If that's what you want, you got to do what you got to do to get it. But that shit is, that's like you going to the best sandwich shop you've ever been to, and somebody comes up to you and just takes the meat out of your sandwich.
Right.
They leave you the lettuce and the tomato and all that shit, but they take the meat out. They take the best part out. What the fuck is that?
This is like a football field with the game with no football.
Yeah, everybody's here, uniforms.
The whole point is she's sexy. That's literally the entire point of the character. Like, you know what? She'd look better in a neon yellow trench coat.
Yeah, covering her down to her ankles like she
might
lives
as well
in Utah.
Put her like in a hijab or something, you know?
Yeah, put her in a burqa. Just throw her in a burqa.
Yeah.
Throw her in a Carhartt canvas burqa. Like the same material that a karate gi is made of, that real thick shit. Put her in one of those because that looks cool. That looks better. That's going to draw more eyes and more attention than Mother Nature. You can't, that's her whole point. You could change the color of her dress, the color of her gloves, the color of her hair. You could change all that stuff. That's not the point. The point is her sexiness that she exudes. That's her superpower.
I was 10 when this came out, and I love the movie because I love the voice of Roger Rabbit. I love the whole concept of live action with animation, and it was done well. It holds up to this day.
Yes.
And we were at the mall somewhere. My grandma was, buying shoes at JCPenney. And at the cash register, there were little PVC vinyl statuettes of some of the characters of this. And she knew I liked the movie. Like, oh, do you want one? And there was Roger Rabbit there. I said, I want that one and that one. I wanted the Jessica Rabbit. And my grandma turns and looks at me and she goes, oh, you want the shapy lady, huh?
In her mind, she was like, yes. I don't know. Worry about him.
Like, yeah. And she did get me the shapy lady and Roger Rabbit. So there you go.
Hey man, and you don't understand at that age, but you understand. There's something I like that. I don't know why I like that, but I like that. And it just works.
My grandma was clued in when I went hubba hubba, and my eyes came out of my head and there were giant hearts in front of me.
You started hitting yourself over the head with a fucking giant wooden mallet. Yeah, man. That's Who Framed Roger Rabbit. We got to do that one too.
We'll do it.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit is the shit, man.
Maybe we'll do it this week.
That shit.
Please, Eddie.
Please. And he goes, don't, when he touches a chair, his brother's chair.
Right.
Oh man, that was, and at the end, I can't remember how he said it. That was my favorite part, where he's left with the goon squad, the little rats that work for the guy who does the dip. And Eddie is left with him, and he's singing a song because now he's like, anyway, I don't spoiler. I mean, it came out in 1988, but he's kind of, he's shed that hard exterior, and he's not drinking anymore. So he's helping out, and he's getting silly, and he's singing a song, and he's supposed to rhyme, and the rat goes, "That don't rhyme with walls," and he goes, "No, but this does," and he kicks him in his balls. That shit had me dying every.
As a kid, you're like, oh. Because some of it goes over here. Like they were telling Roger Rabbit that his wife, Jessica, was playing patty cake with another dude. And then literally you see through a window and there's a blind in front, but they do the silhouette with the light shadow.
Yeah.
And she's like playing patty cake with someone.
And he fucking lost it.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a great movie. I don't think that's a cartoon. That movie is
no, it's
great.
It's
1988.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Yeah.
Love that
Now,
movie.
now it's Sharia law at Disneyland, and they got her covered up. So,
oh, they got what is it? Indians own more land in England than British people do now,
there you go.
and they
That makes
just
sense.
had no. It makes total sense because like and like upspeak, let's see this.
Actually, you're a colonizer.
This guy, his name is Sir Hamid Patel. He's been
Mm.
appointed interim chairman of the Office of Standards and Education in England.
Oh,
So there you go. Sir Hamid Patel. So take that. And who's the is Sadiq Khan still? He sounds like a villain in a Disney movie. Is he still the mayor?
did you say Suck Deek Khan?
No, I said he sucks Deek.
Oh,
That's why they named him Suck Deek. You must suck a lot of Deek if they name you Suck Deek. But yeah.
Mighty Geek Studios, Arnold said, anyone can attain the physique of a Greek god if you're willing to put in the work. You can, for sure. And one of my favorite things that Arnold said about hard work is he said, you got to tell yourself you're worth the work. And I think this, and I don't want to get into serious, I want to have fun today because we're just goofing off. But I do believe the number one determinant of your success is going to be intelligence. But number 1A is your self-image. Do I think I deserve good things? Do I think I deserve to work hard to get good things? Do I believe that I can have nice, wonderful things in life. I can have success. You wouldn't believe how many people have a glass half empty view of themselves and they never achieve anything. But I don't want to get all negative and serious because we's goofing off right now.
Yeah, yeah. But that is true. If you put in the hard work, man, I mean, it's crazy how that works, whatever you want. And maybe it can be done anywhere because I've seen videos of like people in Africa of like lifting bags of sand. These dudes are shredded. So if you got the work ethic, man, yeah, you can get it. And that's the beauty of humanity. And if you take that same work ethic and put it into a business or something like that, that's America. America is the perfect place for you to put in that kind of work, and you will. It'll find you. So the laws of the universe, I don't know, the planets, but if you're putting it in, success it'll find you. You'll just get a call, you'll get an email, because people just notice that, and it'll just
there's
happen.
An old saying that success is hard work meets opportunity. I wanted to be a professional comic book artist since I was 12 or 13. My favorite artist, Jim Lee, is the one that inspired me. Jim Lee is the superstar of comics. He is a vice president, chief creative officer at Warner Brothers. He has the record for the highest selling comic book of all time, X-Men issue number 1, 1992, having like 8.5 million copies. He's a legend in this business. Everything he touches turns to gold. He'll do a couple issues of Batman. It'll sell crazy. Superman, Wolverine. He's the guy. And he inspired me when I was a kid. And I set out to work for him. And I worked and worked and worked. And I was drawing every day. And every day I'd go to Comic-Cons. I'd bring samples. I found his studio here in San Diego, right by my house. When I was 20, I was reading a magazine and they went and interviewed him and the other people there because they were rock star comic book artists. And they had this studio right in front of the water. And I was reading the magazine and I'm like, I saw out the window in the magazine photo where they took a picture of some of the artists. I'm like, I know where that is. So I took the magazine, I'm driving around and I look up and I see a comic book character in the window, like a giant cardboard cutout. I go to this cafe downstairs at the La Jolla Bank building and I run into Carlos de Anda and he takes me upstairs, and Carlos would end up being a great friend and collaborator of mine. Every time I say collaborator, I feel like the Nazis speaking at the Nuremberg trials.
Oh, collaborator.
He's a collaborator. But we worked on Star Wars together and Batman. But this is 1998. And I went and found it. And then I would go to that office once a week and drop off 4 new pages of drawing it. Long story short is Jim Lee, who inspired me at 12, personally hired me when I was 29 years old. So hard work is success meets opportunity. I just stuck to it long enough. If you stick to anything long enough, something has to happen. And I used to do a lot of speaking at colleges. For whatever reason, I was getting phone calls and emails to do that. Motivational speeches for like art students and this and that. And this doesn't apply only to art. This applies to everything you do in life. If you do anything long enough, something has to happen because it is just a math equation. And the reason you don't think it'll happen is some negative self-image, something from some trauma. Why did they ruin all these concepts? Something like a mean parent or a really fucking shitty teacher or siblings. Someone somewhere told you, you suck, you can't do it. Put your dreams away and go do this thing you hate for a living. And that isn't true. And here's how I'll prove it to you. Can you believe bad things can happen to you? And this is the example I gave people. If you had to sit on a couch for 1 year straight, you were not allowed to exercise or do anything but go to the bathroom and sit on this couch, watch Netflix, and drink 6 milkshakes a day minimum, plus your regular meals, would you be fat after 1 year? The answer is always yes, because it's just science.
Yeah.
That's how the body works scientifically. So if you do a thing over and over and over and over, you get a result. Good things work exactly like that. So in your mind, take away good and bad things and just look at them as things. Look at them as math equations and just say, if I practice drawing long enough and I take a little job at the newspaper, I take a little job doing Halloween character design and all the things I did, just keep getting better at art, get books, find mentors, go to art school, learn to draw better. If I just do the thing over and over and over and over for years, one night I'll be drawing comics at 3 a.m. and Jim Lee will post on his blog, we need a new colorist in the San Diego studio. Please color this Superman drawing to apply. And I did that. And 2 weeks later, they hired me. It took 17 years, but I just stuck to it.
Mm-hmm.
That is the determinant to succeed, is sticking to it. 99% of people who don't succeed, they quit before they got there. And for those of you that quit on your dreams, you might have been 1 more week away. You might have been a day away. You might have been a decade away, but it will happen eventually. It has to, just like the getting fat. It has to happen. Do you believe that, or am I full of hot air? I believe this.
I believe it 100%. And I think that's the key. The 2 keys are sticking with it and getting rid of that timeline. Don't think, well, it hasn't happened now. You can't, you just have to go until it finds you. Don't look for it. Just keep your head down and work, because keeping your head down and working at it, that's preparing you for that moment. Because had that moment come to you a year into you drawing and you sent that into him,
right,
it probably wouldn't have been good enough. But your hard work met that opportunity and you were ready for it. And he saw that and you became, I need that guy. I need that talent on my team. So they sought you out. Like, you have what I need. I need you. So I'm going to do what I need to do what I need to do to get you here. And that's the truth. You know, if you keep at something, you just got to take out that it hasn't happened yet. I found that, you know, doing different things in my life, that if you get to a point, well, it hasn't happened yet, so I might as well go back to whatever. You just have to, and it will. It's hard to explain, but if you've ever felt something and somebody asks you, how do you know? You just know. I just feel it. It just is. There's no other way that this can play out. So you keep with it, man. It will.
Mighty Geek Studio says, problem is people are looking for instant gratification. I think that the thinking that I have and Jericho has and other people that are really successful in what they want to be successful in, I think this concept is wired in, because nobody taught me this. I've understood this since I was a little boy. I remember the example I always give people is in 1st grade. I'm 7 years old in Mr. Schuldener's class, and it's bring your dad to work to school day. And one of the kids' dad was an engineer at Hewlett Packard. I love Star Wars and Robotech and all that as a kid, Voltron, things with computers in them, but I didn't know anything about computers. We didn't own a computer. He was a computer engineer from Hewlett Packard, the local Hewlett Packard in Colorado. He came in and talked to us about computers and mainframes and computer bugs. And it was all over my head, but I was fascinated because I loved Star Wars. And I had a vision in my mind, unprompted, of going to work with this dad. And he had a big computer terminal. And next to his was a twin, an exact copy. And he was pushing buttons. And then I would push him. And then he would push more. And in my head, I was like, oh, if I just do the thing someone else did, then the thing will happen. I realized, I was 7 thinking about this, that, oh, if you just follow the steps, it's just math. So if I take 7 plus 8, I'm going to get 15. Well, guess what happens if Jericho does 7 plus 8? He'll also get 15, because that's not in our control. That's just the way the universe works. So if you just copy the steps of any successful person in front of you that you want to be like, you will get a very similar result. If you lift weights like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you won't look like him because of his genetics, but you will look the best you can look, whatever your genetics are, and it will be amazing. You'll look great. Will you look exactly like him? No, because there's a genetic factor there for sure. There's how long your limbs are. Like the guys with the shorter limbs, they get way better results. Some people have more fast twitch muscle fibers genetically, blah, blah, blah. But you cannot deny that you would look fucking amazing you'd look amazing in a Speedo if you followed his instructions. You go to imagine being a guy and going to the beach in a Speedo and being confident in how amazing you look. You know, that's what we all want as dudes.
Like the Europeans, and they may not look like they should be in a Speedo, but they have the confidence. I've seen it.
They're going down with the ship on that Speedo, dude.
Crazy. And another thing I saw with the Europeans is older European men, like 50s, 60s, into their 70s. They dress like teenagers. Like you'll see them with, dude, I used to work in Monterey, huge tourist capital. and tons of Europeans there. And I would see during the summer constantly older European dudes wearing like tennis ball colored jackets and like hot pink Nikes and fucking dude, they dress like Fresh Prince in like the first 2 seasons. It's crazy. And here in America, you don't see older people dressing like that. That's a young person's kind of thing. You're not going to see some 70-year-old grandpa wearing some fucking orange Yeezys and just crazy bright shit. But man, those older European dudes, they rock that shit. And you'll see them down on the beach, banana hammock, ready to go.
Could you do it? Would you do it now? How much would it cost to get you in the Speedo now?
I mean, everybody has their price. You already know I'll stomp Andre the Giant's turds down the bathroom drain for $200,000 a year. So I'll do it.
That's right. We did establish Wednesday night that Jericho would, for a salary of a meager $200,000, and it's meager for this job.
Yeah. Okay.
$200,000 a year, travel around with Andre the Giant and stomp his poop down the shower drain. Don't ask. It was disgusting.
Because he's so big that he has to shit in the tub.
You don't have to stomp it. There could be some sort of hand tool or something, dude. Why do you get your feet involved?
I like to earn my money, man.
You like to get most people like to get their hands dirty. You like to get your feet dirty.
I like to get my feet dirty. That's how you get all the corn and peanuts down there. Anyway,
Admiral Wackass. He's a rear.
Not gonna get a lot of respect. Not gonna get a lot of respect there, but that's all right.
No respect, I tell you. No respect.
No respect.
You have to be monomaniacal with your passions. If you really want to create something worth passing on to the next gen, you have to be willing to do it regardless of what troubles or benefits it brings. Yeah. So again, just to hammer home on that concept of the instant gratification versus actually achieving what you want, Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert, is brilliant. And he came up with a short name for the thing I'm talking about, of just sticking to it for days and days and days. He said systems, not goals. And the concept of systems, not goals, is your goal is, I want to get into college basketball. Right? I'm a middle schooler. I want to at least get to college basketball. And then that's all you think about. No, don't do that. Say, I want to live a life where I do things every day that will get me to college basketball. So I don't worry about college basketball. I go, today I got to do dribbling and shooting practice. Tomorrow I got to work on my diet and sleep and exercise and more dribbling and passing drills. And every day is just one more Lego. Just another one, another one, another one. And then eventually you turn around and, oh my gosh, look at what you built. And then the opportunity comes. Because when Jim Lee hired me to work at DC Comics, could I control him needing a new staff colorist? I can't control that. Hey, Jim, you need to hire someone. I can't make him do that. All I can do is control me being ready when the job is ready. So that's what the 17 years of me trying to, and from the time I went to Jim Lee's studio in 1998, well, my first day of work was January 2nd, 2008. So it was almost a decade. I was the spring of 98 when I met the people at the studio. And I would go into the studio every week in 98 and into 99. I would walk into the studio with 4 new pages, drop them off. They'd send me a rejection letter. It was a weekly ritual. And I would just do that. I could show you right here. I'll show you. I keep a bunch of them right here. Hold on. They are right here somewhere. I got a big old stack of them. From I don't know, they're in a different drawer, but I have Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, every company you can think of, just rejection letters, just inches and inches thick of thank you, Mr. Eltaeb, for the submissions. While we think your work shows promise, you got to work on XYZ, blah 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 blah. The companies no longer accept submissions; they quit accepting them like 20 years ago. But you could just mail stuff to Marvel and DC. It's samples. They don't now that it's all Hollywood and all that movies. But yeah, I did that for years. I would submit 4 pages a week for years. I just stuck to it. And then one day at 3 a.m, like, we need a new colorist to color this Superman drawing, and we'll see who we want to hire. And then they hired me. So there you go.
2 things that I thought of real quick.
Yeah.
Number 1, speaking of Marvel and shitty Marvel movies, I got another one for you when you're ready.
No. Madam Web. No. Madam Web is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh, it's nipping at Madam Web's heels. It's nipping. It's the new one called Craven. Oh boy. Ooh. If you're ready for a night like a snow shovel scoop of steaming horse shit, I got it for you when you're ready. Okay. Number 2.
No. I refuse. After Madam Web, no.
Gabe, there are some scenes in there that are so fucking stupid and unnecessary, and it's so dumb. Oh, it's so bad. But anyway, like the person said in the last one, you have to be monomaniacal with your focus. So here's something. Yeah. What's up, Diesel? Here's something that I always think of, and it's with my son more than my daughter. So you see these great guys like Tiger Woods or something like that. These guys who are the best at what they do, who are absolutely the best. And you see people who are, who are hardened, maybe guys who do fighting for a living or they're special forces or something like that. But these guys usually come from some fucked up shit. Their dad wasn't around or he was an alcoholic. He beat their ass. He was mean to them. Used to tell him shit. They didn't love him. There was no love there. It was just brutality, So, but from that brutality comes people like that. But what's the sacrifice? You're sacrificing that side of it. You're sacrificing the love and support and the softer side of being a dad. You're sacrificing a relationship with your son later, but you're turning him into a warrior, so to speak.
Right.
So where do you find that balance? Like myself, I'm not hard. I can be, I am when I need to be. But when I'm not, I'm affectionate with my son. I hug him, I tell him I love him, I tell him good job. I go to his practices and his games and I'm supportive to him. But you don't want to make him too soft.
Well, here's the thing.
What I mean?
I've raised a son who you've met. He's an excellent young man now, actually in his second half of his 20s. And I won't get into details. He's very successful now at what he does. And we're like this, we go to Vegas together to go to UFC fights. We're friends now that we're adults. So I'm not going to be your friend when you're my kid, little, but we're like actually friends now. And he can go to me about anything. He comes to me about women. He comes to me about business, this, that, and the other. And what I found is there's the affectionate love and playing Nintendo with my son and all the goofing off and all that. And then the most potent form of love of your son is the belief in him. And that will come in discipline too. Your son, little Jericho Green Jr. will come home with a D on a test. And you're going to come down on him and say, no, we are Greens. We're better than that. You're better than that. This is bullshit and you know it. You could have done a better job. I am very disappointed. You're grounded for blah, blah, blah. But you make sure when you hammer him like that, it's you're better than that. I believe in you. This is nonsense and you know it. And that is one of the most important things young men, young boys and girls need, but boys especially, because as a boy, you don't know what's possible, but anything is possible. I love the way Elon Musk looks at the world. I felt so smart when I heard Peter Thiel, that was Elon Musk's old partner when they invented PayPal and all that, said he thought Elon Musk was so unique because he had this thing he believed where he said, if it didn't violate the laws of physics, we could do it. Years before I found out Elon Musk said that, I say that. I said that exact thing to my wife and other people. I said, well, does it violate the laws of physics? Then no, then it's possible. And I think as men, when we come down on a boy and say, hey, you're better than that. You're not a scum. You're not worthless. You're not trash. You're not a D student. Like you demand excellence out of them. They rise. Children will rise to the level of expectation and they don't know it in the moment. They're upset. Dad's mad at me. That is like the biggest hug in the world. That is the most love ever, to tell someone that they're great and they're capable of great things morally and, career-wise and intelligence-wise, that they are capable of so much more. When some man believes in you, it's like nothing else. It's what their soul needs so badly. And that's why society's so fucked up and so many young people, millennials, Zoomers, are hopeless. They didn't have a dad. And if they had a dad, he was a colossal pussy. They didn't have that man telling them you can be anything if you work for it. And it doesn't work when your mother says it. It's impossible because your mother loves you no matter what. That's the saying, a face only a mother could love. Mama's got blinders on. Mama loves you like nothing else. So it doesn't inspire the way father's love does.
Perfect example of that. Yesterday, my daughter, she has a play coming up and she's like, I don't want to perform in front of the school because she's in 7th grade. And I don't know if you guys know, but middle schoolers are the worst little fucking humans on the planet. They're just little bastards. So she doesn't want to perform in front of the school because, oh, you're doing something cool. You're doing something right. Oh, you're not cool, whatever. And she's like, I'm not going to school that day. And I said, yes, you are. You're going to school that day. And she's like, I know, I'm just kidding. And so I leave the room to go get something, and I hear her mom whisper to her. I don't know what she's saying, but I know what she's saying. And so
Yeah, she's giving her the feel-good bullshit, right?
Yeah. I came back in the room, and I said, I don't care what your mom says, you're going to school on the day of that play.
Good man.
Because I knew, but that's her mom playing her role. And that's mom. Mom can't help it. Mom is, she's always going to be the softer one. You'll know you're doing your job when you find your kids going to their mom more to ask them for shit than you.
Right.
Because that's how I found it with my dad. I would go to my mom first. And if my mom said, what did your dad say? Fuck. That means I got to go ask my dad. And my dad's 2 favorite words. Hell no. That's what he would say all the time. Hell no, and we got work to do. Those are his
I thought it was we
say.
could do this with an ass beating or without an ass beating.
He's told me that too. And he also told me, boy, give your heart to Jesus because your ass belongs to me. My dad had so many of those colloquialisms.
Yeah.
Because he's from the South. And I don't know what it is with Southern people and their sayings, but man, he had a bunch of them. Boy, I'll have you jumping around like a cat on a hot tin roof. Right.
So let's get into this more about the encouragement. So my daughter had a hard time in high school. So did I. And, I was in the gifted and talented program, and Jericho, you too. And my daughter, she's very intelligent too. But sometimes when you're like that, school's too slow and you mess around too much. Because what I would always experience in school was like looking at the other kids, like, why are you asking that question? The teacher already told us. How the fuck do you not remember? Like the learning wasn't hard enough. It was too stupid. And I was undisciplined. I loved chasing girls and comic books and lifting weights for the football team. That was what high school was for me. So I didn't do great, and my daughter didn't do great, and I saw that. I caught it. Like, she's kind of doing what I did. So I got her involved in comedy because I noticed a few times I was watching Saturday Night Live, she liked it. Well, Pauly Shore's family is comedy royalty when it comes to comedy clubs. They own the Comedy Store in Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. That is the most prestigious, famous comedy club in the world, the Comedy Store. Well, there's another comedy store here in San Diego right by our house. So I went down there. I found out there were lessons. Pauly Shore's sister, Sandy, taught people stand-up. And my daughter started doing this when she was 16. She turned 28 last week. So 12 years old. She's been doing open mics. You don't get paid. You're trying out. They fit you in late at night. And, she's been doing that in Hollywood and San Diego since she was 16. Well, now they asked her to come out to Dallas and do a roast battle. She went out there. They asked her to do all these roast battles, all these shows, and it's just blowing up for her. But it's been 12 years. But hold on a second. I want to show you something. Look at what is happening now. Okay. And this is that thing I tell you about sticking to it and hanging out. This is, damn it, share screen. This is my daughter 12 years later. Well, you all know Jeff Garland. He's on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Well, there's my daughter. She did the show with him. They asked her to do that show now. She's getting paid to do things now. This is a private corporate show my daughter just did last week. She was the headliner, and she brought in people to back her up, and she was the headliner. She did this for a bunch of real estate agents or something like that at a hotel ballroom, and she killed. She goes to Vegas now and does Jimmy Kimmel's Club once in a while. You know what I mean? And look at this. She sent me this picture last night. The Laugh Factory in San Diego. There she is now. She was laughing because of her face, how fat it is there. Because she's lost a lot. She's lost like 70 pounds since like the new year or whatever. But they use old photos. We were joking about the chubby face in the photo. But there she is with her name on the wall of the Laugh Factory. She's doing shows tonight and tomorrow, this weekend. Real shows, not open mics. So this is what I'm talking about. Now, am I some Hollywood executive? Do I own the comedy clubs and I can get my daughter into this? No. What fucking leverage do I have in the world of Hollywood and stand-up comedy? None. But what I can do is teach my daughter systems, not goals. You be a comedian. We write jokes. I taught her how to write jokes because I've won awards for writing humor going back to college and all that. And I showed her, and she's naturally funny like me too. And Jericho, naturally funny. You kind of get it. So I saw that talent in her in high school. It's like, oh, this will be a good job for her. And I remember arguing with the high school counselor saying, well, she's not doing this in math, and I want her in the algebra. I don't want her in the low level. And I told, fuck off. I was yelling at the counselor at the high school. I said, no. I said, the world has enough fucking mathematicians. I guarantee you, bitch, this is me talking to the person at the high school. Everyone that wants to be a mathematician is a mathematician. Yeah. I told the counselor, well, any of your little stupid math student whizzes, can they get on stage in Hollywood like my daughter at 16 and make the crowd laugh? Then get the fuck out of here with your algebra. We have enough. Not everyone loves that shit, okay? And to try and force people to be these things that they're not, you could make them that. You know, you can make a left-handed person right-handed. You could, but you're going to make them miserable. You know what I mean? So I just told her, we're just going to stick to it. And I said, if you try things and quit and try, because there's so many people in life, they have 50 things they've tried and quit because they tried it for 5 minutes. So then you're going to be 40, 50, 60 years old, and you just have a bunch of failures. And you could have had any of those things you wanted if you just stuck to it. Now my daughter's getting paid. She's getting flying to other cities to do comedy. She's the Southern California roast battle champion of 2024. Her roasts are vicious. I can't even repeat them on the air on YouTube.
Yeah, they're real bad.
Right, Jericho, you helped her with a few roasts. She came to you and you helped her.
Yeah, in a very small way, but yeah, I mean, those roast jokes are, and if you know anything about a roast battle, you know that absolutely everything is on the table. And I mean, personal shit.
It's like UFC. It's like that. Broken bones, broken noses. It's nasty.
Dude, racism, sexism, everything. It's it's the final frontier of the First Amendment or roast battles.
The more racist and sexist, the better with the roast battles.
Yeah, it can't get bad enough.
Right. So let's see. But yeah, see here. Okay, I'll bring her Instagram up. I don't know what she's doing here. Hold on, but someone was asking if I could play some of her stuff. So let me see if I can find it. Hold on. This is her Instagram here. I don't know what this story is. But here's another club she's doing on Saturday. So she's doing comedy like 4 or 5 nights a week. There's my wife and her and my daughter a few months old. You know what I mean? So what does she say here? Here's what she says. I'm performing a total of half-hour material this weekend, and a little me would never believe, damn it, I could do that. Follow your dreams. See, so I've brainwashed my daughter. The system's not goals. And every last one of you in the fucking audience, I want you to live. There's my granddaughter. I want you to live your dreams. It breaks my heart to think of people doing some miserable fucking job they don't want to do, and they're 40 and they're 50 and they're 60, and all they have is regret. I hate that. And I don't hate it like I'm mad at you. I feel so sorry for people that they let that loser parent or the loser the people tell them, come on, get your. Minnie has had people she knows, people she was very close to, tell her, oh, comedy, you got to be more realistic than that.
So I'm so glad that I never.
Fuck you forever, dude.
I'm so glad that I've never had somebody tell me something like that. But how much of a piece of shit are you to fucking, why would you tell somebody like that? I've had people come to me and tell me, oh, I want to do this. Nothing but support comes to mind. Even if it's some whack shit, maybe you just don't understand it. Just support it. Who the fuck does that? Who the fuck tells somebody you can't do what you want? You're dreaming.
Think about it. Think about it for a second. Who would tell you don't live your dreams? What's going on in their life?
But how?
They didn't live their dreams, and it's killing them to watch you live yours. That's exactly what it is, dude. It's fucking resentment. Resentment is everywhere, dude. It's everywhere. People see one of my good friends, Eric July. Remember the comic book guy? You interviewed him on your channel. I've told you a little bit. If you knew what people were doing harassing him, it's pure resentment because the guy's so brilliant with business and successful. It's been so racist and crazy. There was like some court stuff. A guy got arrested for like harassment and all this shit. Like, it's crazy what they've done. And he just smiles and moves on. But it's pure resentment, dude. Deion Sanders said they don't boo nobodies. People hate. You know who hates winners? Losers. That's who hates winners. And this is the left. Let's bring it full circle politically. Why does the left want to destroy everything amazing and beautiful and wonderful? Why do they hate the white, the rich, the successful, the beautiful, the thin, beautiful, curvy woman? Why do they hate all that, dude? Because they're not that. They hate all of it out of pure resentment, you know? So
instead of and people who are like the general public, I could give a shit if some random nobody that I don't even know or I'll never run into, has some hater shit to say. But people in your inner circle, people you know, people who are supposed to be friends or family, why would you have nothing but support? And if there is some kind of criticism, make sure that it's constructive, but you're still supporting what they're doing, not, oh, that's a waste of time. What are you doing that for? That's ridiculous. You're not going to make any money. That's just, wow. That's just real terrible hater shit.
I don't know. I just think it's because they're losers, you know. But yeah, I couldn't be more proud of.
If you're a loser, then you lost. But why you got to shit on them?
But it makes them feel better. They're lower than you. And if they shit on you now in their own stupid delusion, now they're better than okay, Jericho Green is awesome. And this person is not awesome. So they look at you and go, huh, I don't like how that feels. So I'm going to say Jericho sucks. So now I'm over the guy that's awesome. So now I'm awesome. This is their stupid logic to get somewhere in life. But I mean, here she is just doing more shows. I forgot how big some of the stuff she did was. Let's see. Okay, here's some of her stuff here. Let me see if I can get some sound on it. Someone wanted to see it. I don't even know this bit. I don't know what this is.
For the ladies, this is my impression of Kamala Harris shattering the glass ceiling for women and becoming the first female VP.
Hold on. I need to start this over because I don't think you could hear that, right?
I heard it.
Oh, shit. Well, then I'm stepping on the joke. Sorry.
Okay. All right, thank you. I'm going to do one more thing. It's for the ladies. This is my impression of Kamala Harris shattering the glass ceiling for women and becoming the first female VP. Okay? All right, thank you. I'm going to do one more thing.
I laughed. I laughed so hard when she told that because she said she had a little bit. This was like last year she was doing those jokes. She said lightning round at the end of her set. So I'm going to do a few impressions. And she did an impression of this guy and an impression of that guy. And it's kind of like, it's not that funny, but that's the setup. And then she closes, one more, Kamala Harris. Then it's, I was like, that was good. That was good. You know, so yeah, she's funny. And some of the greatest advice she ever got, Jay Moore. Fucking funniest dudes ever. I got to hang out with Jay Moore in the radio station here in San Diego for 3 hours because he did his LA radio show from a San Diego station because he was doing stand-up in San Diego that night. So he just went and borrowed a studio down here. And he said on the air, if you want to come and sit in studio and hang out with me, email blah, 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 the producer of the show. So I emailed him. I said, my daughter's a stand-up. My daughter was like 17 at the time. Said, let us come in. So we came and sat in studio. And in the breaks, in between the segments, he was so nice and funny and kind. But he told her, hey, you're a girl. Don't do girl comedy. The Sarah Silverman. Oh, my vagina, my period, my period, my period. Everyone in the crowd is like, gross. And thank God my daughter does normal Johnny Carson, you know, Jerry Seinfeld, just normal comedy where it's not a man, it's not a woman, it's relatable to humans. It's just funny. And I've told her that early on, like, don't fall in the trap of I'm a female talking dirty. Like, that's cringe. That's why people say
that's what they always do.
Say women aren't funny.
Yeah.
Because they do stupid jokes like that. Women are capable of being funny. Of course they are. Just don't do. And he told her that. So it's good that I told her that, but it was better that a real stand-up like Jay Moore, not her father, tells her that too. And thank goodness, because she's hilarious, dude. So yeah, Jay Moore is a man. Absolutely. So
yeah, and when they, you can tell your kids, whatever they need to hear in that moment. And it might be the most perfect words that they need to hear. But sometimes when they hear those words from somebody else, whether it be a Jay Moore who's in the thing that they want to be in.
Right. I mean, he wrote for Saturday Night Live. I mean, he's kind of a real big deal comedian,
Sometimes those words, when they come from somebody like that, it really impacts them in the best way. And, I always think about that balance of, I don't think about, how I'm doing it. Like, let me be a little tough on him, a little tougher this time. All right, let me be a little bit softer on this time. I don't think about that. I just do what I do, but I do think about the outcome. I do think about, what kind of young man is he going to be? We all think about this as parents, what kind of scrapes am I going to leave, on the USS Junior, when he finally leaves port. So I think it'll be minimal. My wife and we're normal. We don't have any addictions of any kind. We don't argue. And, we're normal people. So they're going to escape.
You're addicted to booty smacking. I've heard that.
But that's the way it is. She's the one walking around here like that. So it's not my fault.
She enables it, though. The wife, I'm addicted to booty smacking too, but my wife is my enabler.
Yeah.
She's not tried to rehab me at all. She sets me up to be stuck there. So
there's always an enabler. When you watch those interventions, You always have the family member, and especially if there's more than one kid's going to cut mom or whoever that is off. They're tired of their shit. They're done.
Right.
They have to be convinced to come and do this intervention. But the other kid is always well, their mom, we have to. And, and then if it's a child, the parent, there's always one parent, usually the mom. Well, I don't want them out in the street stealing and going to jail and possibly getting killed. So I'll give him $80. He comes to the back door. Mom, is dad home?
He goes to the back door like this.
Yeah.
Mom, you got the money,
right? There's always an enabler.
I just need it, Mom.
Always. And when it comes to a husband's, addiction, the wife is the enabler.
Right. Wearing thin linen pants and bending over, picking stuff up all the time.
Yeah. Why'd you take that out of the oven now? Why'd you bend over and take that out of the oven? Yet. You knew I was coming down the hall.
Timer says it's got 38 minutes left. Yet here we are.
Here we are again. Here we go once again. Why'd you walk past me in the hallway smelling like that? Yeah. Why did
what's going on?
It's not our fault. Basically, what we're saying, it's all your fault, ladies.
I was this way when you start messing with me. You know
how bad I am. You know how bad my addiction is. Yeah. I'm at my rock bottom 24/7. I need it. 24/7 rock bottom. And you
I need this, man.
Please, baby, please. This is nothing to you, but it's everything to me. Please, baby. Hey, come on.
Just tip, man. Come on, I need it.
Come on, baby, please. Shh. Quiet. Get in here. You're gonna wake the damn kids. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And it won't take long. That's another thing, ladies. We're not taking a lot of your time. All right. We know you have stuff to do. Let us get in, get medicated, and get back out in the field.
Get my medicine and then go back to work.
Yeah. You're just prolonging, this, you being able to go back to doing what you're gonna do. So stop fucking around. And let's get it done.
Yeah.
And I love it. And you would think, think about eating your favorite food every day. You're going to get tired of that, right? And you would think after 25 plus years, I am sick and tired of eating this perfectly marbled ribeye every single day. But you're not. You never get tired of it, ever.
I could eat a few things every day and never get tired of them. Pizza. Cannot get tired of pizza. Love pizza. Bacon, at breakfast. I have bacon almost every day. Love bacon. I think possibly a good ribeye. If it had good horseradish sour cream sauce, I think I could eat that every day. Think so. And great street tacos, like the kind of get in Tijuana or whatever, like those kind of street tacos. I think I could eat that every day.
Yeah, there's some things taste better when you eat them standing up.
Yeah, you're eating the street taco like this, standing, letting a little bit of the cilantro on, the cebolla fall on the ground a little bit because it's going all over. Ooh, now that's what I want for lunch, dude.
Dude, my new thing is the flat iron steak. If you guys ever had a flat iron, that is a juicy, tender piece of meat. I love the flat iron. That's my thing now. Yeah. I think that is what I'm going to have for dinner tonight.
Yeah, Yoga 7. I called him Yoga. Antonia 707 said yoga pants are good. Yeah, that'll slow down your work schedule. The yoga pants.
Yeah, I got to get out here and produce. And again, it's the things that they do. They know what they're doing. They're calculated criminals, and they know what's going to set us off, so to speak. So
it's like Smokey said. She know what she's doing with them little ass shorts on.
Yeah. No, Craig said that.
Oh, Craig.
Yeah, she know what she's doing with them little ass shorts on. Hey, Miss Parker.
Miss Parker.
When we gonna fuck, Miss Parker? What'd you say, honey?
Boys.
Nothing.
Oh, that movie's so funny. So funny.
That was, man.
95. That was 30 years ago.
That was 1995, but that was probably also 95% of what my friends and I said to each other at school. Right. It was Friday quotes.
You knew she was bald-headed when you sent her over here.
My mama don't like a whole lot of people with me when I come to pick her up.
Right. Every time I'm in the kitchen, you're in the damn kitchen.
Eating up all the food. He's like, wait, what you doing? We ain't got no milk. You better put some water on that damn shit.
Put some water on that shit.
That's my dad. That's my dad right there. Right. I don't care if that food doesn't have maggots in it. You better eat that shit.
Right.
You better put some water on that damn shit.
That's great. We should review that one. That is so funny. My bike, punk.
Yeah, he's all, what'd you guys get? Oh, we got about $200. I got about $200.
I told you not to come around here messing with these people.
You want some too, old man? No.
He gonna cry in his car.
He's all, Debo's coming. Who? Debo.
Yeah.
And he didn't take his chain off. He's all, I'm just going to tuck it. I'm just going to tuck it like this. Oh, man.
He's a macaroni.
Macaroni.
I love that movie. Oh, I haven't seen it in ages, but I love that one. That's
such a good movie. And then a little boy come to the ice cream truck. What you want? He's like, what you want? Oh, he said, boy, what the fuck you want? I want some chili cheese Fritos. And then Smokey comes up and they get to talking and he takes off. And the boy goes, hey, give me my money. He's lost my money now, fat boy. Takes off in his truck.
Big perm.
Big worm. I mean, big perm. I mean, big worm.
What a great movie.
Love it.
I don't like the sequels. Next Friday, Friday after next.
No, we can do without those. We can definitely do without the sequels.
Chris Tucker made it. You know, he makes that first one. And the fact that he's not in the other ones, it hurts it a lot. So
yeah, I guess he found religion, so he didn't want to push marijuana use.
Yeah.
So that's why he didn't want to be in them. I'm like, and that's, you know, great for him, but hey, they should have stopped right there because
I won.
He was it.
Give me my money.
You
won? I lost.
He's all, oh, I don't know you wanted it back, homie. It's over here. Man, he turned around and knocked the shit out of Red.
Yeah.
Damn, we got knocked. How many times?
You got knocked the fuck out.
How many times have you heard that since that movie came out?
Right.
Thousands of times.
It's insane, dude. That's 30 years.
I was a sophomore in high school. Friday was that's all we said. Right. We just quoted that movie to each other. And if you hadn't seen that movie yet, you were shit.
Okay, I'm writing this down because we said Roger Rabbit and Friday. So one of these will be up next on our Wednesday show.
You better put some water on that damn shit.
Better put some water on that shit.
And we caught him in the room with the gun.
Right.
He said, fun. He's all, you don't fight with that. He's all, we fought with these. He's like, you live to see another day. Yeah. And then he left Craig to make the right decision.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, I hope you do the right thing, son. You know, I can't live it for you. You know, so yeah, there's some good messaging in that movie.
I love the crackhead girl that wants to borrow the car or whatever.
Oh, Felicia. She's Craig. Girl, what do you want? I need to borrow your car right quick. You don't want to borrow my car? Most people want to borrow sugar, maybe even ketchup. But my car? Oh no.
What a great movie.
When his girlfriend calls him, talking about, I saw you hug, my cousin, Sister Tracy said she saw you hug that with some tramp. If you look next to her, there's a dude laying in bed with her, right next to her. Fucking tramp.
Who the fuck is that bitch? She throws her braids back.
Who the fuck is that bitch? Oh man.
Yeah, we got to do that. That's a hilarious movie.
Classic. So, and the bad guy, he gets what he gets in the end.
Hey.
Everybody lives happily ever after, man. But yeah, if somebody told me we're gonna have to, you know, Men in Black wipe your memory of the last two Friday movies, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I didn't like them. He's living in Rancho Cucamonga.
I get it, and that has some scene or some, I don't know, I wouldn't say iconics, but some memorable scenes in it.
Yeah.
And the third one launched Cat Williams and Terry Crews's careers, but I could have done without him. The first one was good.
When I was in high school, Terry Crews went to my church a few times.
Oh, yeah?
Because he was on the Chargers for a minute. I don't know if it was like training camp, but he was on the Raiders for a second. He was like on the Chargers for a second, Terry Crews. But yeah, my wife reminded me, because we went to church together in high school, my wife and I, that Terry Crews showed up at church a few times. It's fascinating.
Yeah, he seems to be a cool dude. I'm not sure why he allowed Harvey Weinstein to grab his dick. But anyway.
Well, he spoke out against it. I mean, I'll tell you, you've worked in entertainment too. There's some real bad people in the arts.
For sure, but if somebody grabs your penis, that's supposed to be followed with violence.
What you should do is show them show them this part of your hand real close. You know?
Maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Say, hey, look right here. Look at this. Wow.
Looking at the camera. Dude, are you kidding? Yeah, come on. But anyway, yeah, Friday, put that in the time capsule. For sure. And another one we got to do, I don't know if you want to do it soon or whatever, but another one that you got to see is Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, that seems like a classic 90s. Never seen it.
Oh, great movie.
I mean, it's Robin Williams. The dude is a comedy.
Oh, it's Robin Williams at his zenith.
Is it like his zenith to me is Aladdin. Like that is so good.
Well, this is the year after. So
right,
even if his star is starting to come down to earth, it's still burning pretty hot in 1993.
No, he's the comedy genius, just absolute one of the royalty of comedy. That
guy. He's like most people, I think. If you have a profession, whatever it is, in your 40s, I think that's the perfect combination of youth and experience.
Yeah,
because you've had about 20 years in your craft. You're really good at it. You know what you're doing. You've trimmed a lot of the fat. You streamline what you do pretty damn well, and you're still very youthful. So I think that 40s Robin Williams we were getting was he'd been in acting and honed his craft and his characters and all that stuff. I mean, Mrs. Doubtfire is an amazing movie. I put that one in the time capsule too.
Really?
Okay. Oh yeah, it's that good. And again, what's a common thread through all of these great movies? Family.
Right.
It's all about family. His family helps him get his family back. So
that I'll have to see.
Movie.
Yeah, anything that's emphasizing family is great. So,
and Pierce Brosnan's in it, playing in a role that's not James Bond, and that's where he belongs. No more James Bond for Pierce Brosnan. Thank you very much. He's too soft. He's like James Bond if you took 33% of his testosterone. Like he's still a dude, but he's a little.
I think he looks great, but then the acting leaves a lot to be desired, which is weird because I've seen Pierce Brosnan on other things and he's great. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's awesome.
But there's something about his James Bond. It's like he doesn't care about being James Bond.
Yeah, he's just too. I don't know. He's missing part of. He has one part of James Bond.
It's like he's bored or something. I don't know. So
how can you be bored with James Bond? It's like
he's actually bored. It just feels like.
But it shouldn't come across like that. It should. This is a role of a lifetime. I think if you had two James Bonds, if you needed one James Bond to kick ass and one James Bond to go to the casino and woo the ladies, he'd be the casino James Bond.
Yeah.
For sure. He's smooth. He sounds good, but the tough spy part, he's just not pulling it off, Mr. Brosnan. And he was in another great movie that we have to do. It's called The Foreigner with Jackie Chan. That is a fucking amazing movie. He plays the shit out of his part in that one. And Jackie Chan, more of a dramatic role. Yes, there's action and ass kicking, but a dramatic role that I don't think I've ever seen Jackie Chan in before.
All right. So, yeah, I got some new ones on deck here. Roger Rabbit, Friday, Mortal Kombat from 1995. Miss Doubtfire and Foreigner with Brosnan and Chan. I said Brosnahan.
That's the Irish, his Irish cousin.
Well, no, there's an actress named Rachel Brosnahan, and she is a bit of all right. Hopefully my wife isn't watching this show.
You know she is. Now that you said that, she is.
Yeah, she's going to pop up in the chat.
Her ears went.
She's going to be like, who the fuck is that bitch? And flipping her hair back.
Who the fuck is that bitch? Adrian, where'd you get those braids?
Right.
Those long fingernails.
She's going to have those giant hoop earrings, like it's 93.
Who the fuck is that bitch?
Yeah.
This ain't enough. Make it enough. Love that. Or he goes, buy me a 40, man. It's my birthday. It's your birthday? Yeah, what day is it?
What's that guy's name? Ezel, right?
Ezel. Crackhead Ezel.
My neck, my back, my neck and my back.
My neck. How many times have you heard that? You got knocked the fuck out and my neck, my back, my neck and my back. Oh, man. Come on.
They caught lightning in a bottle with that one.
They did, and they should have left it in that bottle and not try to reproduce it.
Yeah,
that was great.
Prequels were just a letdown,
R.I.P. John Witherspoon, Pops. I met him. Funny dude, telling stories. Again, when you see radio interviews, just know that the really, really good stuff takes place off the air during commercial that you unfortunately don't get to see.
The same thing happens here on YouTube sometimes. Jericho and I will talk before or after the show, and for whatever reason, it can be different than what's on the air. I don't know what that is.
Because there's wherever you go to speak, whatever platform, there's rules.
Right.
Period. And so subconsciously that those rules are in place, so you act accordingly like any decent citizen. Right. But when the cameras are off.
I hate the self-censoring so much, dude.
Yeah. But
like YouTube, like we'll get to lockdown stuff and like look at that. I won't even really say the C word on here very much because I have to say lockdown because I'm like, you don't want to get your channel whacked, and you got to try and rebuild a new channel, blah, blah, like, I've come this far. it's not worth saying the C word stuff to have them get all pissed, you know. And
or
that's
the F word. Why can I
so
say the F word? Allow the free market to decide. If you don't like me saying those words, you're not going to come to my channel, and my channel will suffer accordingly. But if you do like it, then let them come.
Right.
I'm going to come. Don't come.
Do not come. I'm going to come. We need Matthew Marsden to come back on because he does the most amazing Trump, dude.
He does. He does. And the award for the best Trump goes to.
I can do the gruffiness, but I'm an octave too high. Like I don't know how to get lower and get the that Trump does. I don't know. I'm like been trying that forever.
I need Matt to be here because I need him to help me perfect my Trump.
Right.
I have the scaffolding around my Trump. I'm building it. I'm almost.
And we call it scaffolding.
Right. You have to, because there's certain Trumpisms, you know, beautiful. He loves to say the word beautiful. He likes to repeat things.
He likes to do this.
The hands. Wow. This is him. You know, I don't care what he's talking about, who he's talking to.
But it's like really cranked back and then like forward. And he'll do this and then do that sometimes.
It's this. If he's doing this, you're in trouble.
You know that Matthew Marsden, he can also do Christopher Walken, which I can't really.
That's another one. I have a little less scaffolding around my Christopher Walken than I do my Trump, but that's what I need. I need to be at the feet of the master who does these impressions, so I can then perfect mine. Because when you're really good at something and you start playing around with it, that's when the best shit is. When you have something down so good that you can just fuck around with it. That's where shit really gets fun.
Right, because there's the first level of the impersonation is copying things that they say. The second level is being able to say anything in their voice, right? That's
once you can do that, once you can do that, then you can put that person who we have this one picture of, now you can put them in fucking crazy situations, silly situations, and that creates the comedy. You don't have to say funny things as that person. Just say whatever you want in a funny situation.
You could just
then you're fucking
Trump's order Chipotle, you know.
Bam. Anything inside of that, the parameters of that.
And anyone guac to levels we had never like I can't
see it's there though.
It's high pitched. Like I understand the roughness, like that, but I'm like an octave and a half way too high.
It's Trump, Chipotle, beautiful guacamole, beautiful. You know
I heard it, and it was a little nasal when it needed a little bit, So.
But that I'm in phase 1. Once I get to phase 2, because then you don't. If when you're like you're talking about Minnie doing jokes and stuff, you're writing a joke. That's where the comedy is. But when you have an impression down so good, I don't have to think of funny things to say. I could say anything, and it's funny because it's in their voice. And like, a Chipotle, you know, gynecologist office or bumps into a homeless person, whatever the situation is, you could tell me, hey, here's a scenario. And whatever I say in that, as that person is going to be fucking hilarious. And then phase 3, once you get that impression down to a science, then start working your funny into that person. And then that's when you've achieved, you know, the fucking Thanos. You put the final stone in the glove. When you can start putting your comedy into an impression, watch out.
Hold on. I'm texting Matthew right now. I said, can you jump on for 5 minutes and tell Jericho and I about your Trump impression? Now, he might be doing his live show right now. He might be in the middle of his. I don't know. I'd have to go look at his channel. But I'll ask him. If he'll say yes, if he'll say yes, then I'll send him the link. You know?
Yeah, because I mean, I just need like a 1 day, like a 1 hour tutorial.
Weapon X says more movies he'd like to see. I also think of Brandon Lee, Showdown, Little Tugger, Rapid Fire, The Crow. Well, listen, buddy. If you go back in the catalog on this channel, we did a Brandon Lee 5-week thing. We did all of his movies. So if you want to see Jericho, myself, and former member of this, Shantan Jetty, we did The Crow. We did Rapid Fire. We did Laser Mission, baby. We
deserve a medal for that.
We did that.
We deserve a medal.
We had a great time. Improv comedy, analyze those movies. Love Brandon Lee. And we talked about, all of us agreed, if the guy hadn't met such a tragic end in 94, he would have been a great action star. Like, he would have blown up. Because The Crow, it holds up. People love it. And he would have blown up after The Crow for sure. He probably would have been in Marvel movies and all that. He probably would have had his own 90s action stuff like Stallone and Schwarzenegger and all the guys. He would have been, and he's so handsome. He was a better actor than his father. He would have just been so big, Brandon Lee. So very.
If we had them both, the father-son shit that they would have done.
Wow.
Oh,
I could see him and Dean Cain in a movie together because they're both like white and Asian. They both have that look. They could have been siblings in some action movie. I could have seen that.
That would be too much handsome on one screen.
Yeah. What the hell, dude?
I don't know if the film could capture that without melting.
Oh, and
both of them in the 90s. Oh man, that's a lot for the ladies to deal with.
Jeez. But just think, I told my wife this. I can't believe I told her this. I would have loved to have been Dean's friend if I were single. Because think of all the women that he just tosses back that you would catch on the rebound.
It's like
I would have been like fucking Dennis Rodman in '96, just bah, 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 bah.
Dude, Dennis Rodman broke his dick twice. So I let you know. 9 o'clock. Like that. So I've
heard of that kind of work he was putting fracture. I have heard of that. That is
he did it. He did it twice. So that lets you know the
kind
of usage.
On the edge.
Dude, you're using it so much that it broke.
Well,
golly.
I don't want to get graphic here, but that sounds like someone landed on it.
Dude, imagine that bad boy going at 9 o'clock.
Nope. No.
Owie.
That's a tough one.
Youch. And imagine having enough to go 9 o'clock. Boy, oh boy.
I did ask Matt to jump in, but Antonios reminds me, I was talking to Matthew on the phone the other day, and he was talking, this is all public, so I'm not putting his news out there, that he's got to get a tooth pulled very soon. So I think that's, yeah.
Matt, you talked to us through the pain with the gauze in your mouth impacted. You talked to us.
Getting my tooth pulled by the greatest dentist in Dallas, Texas. See, I'm
beautiful tooth. Beautiful tooth. It was impacted. Dentist got it. Great dentist. Love him. Tooth puller. Come see him. Great tooth puller. Come see him. Lovely guy. Great anesthesiologist. Put me right out. Counted backwards from 100. Got to 97.
Crazy Nancy Pelosi.
Rosie O'Donnell moved to Ireland. She's their problem now. Hope you have lots of potatoes. She's a pig. Pigs love potatoes. Have you seen that
like 5-minute takedown of Rosie from like 20 years ago?
Dude, that
I can't play it because the copyright. It is the most brutal thing ever.
Unfortunately,
Rosie is a loser. I'm going to sue her big fat face because it's going to be fun.
And unfortunately, we have to mourn the loss of that Trump, and that's okay because the Trump we have now is great. But that first go around Trump was a fucking psychopath, man. And I love it. I don't know if it's, or I guess, no, because it didn't happen on the job. It didn't happen on the court, so I don't think so.
Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs. What was I doing in 96? I was graduating high school and becoming a father a few months later. That's what I was doing in 96.
So, I was a sophomore in high school, nowhere near having a family yet.
And that's not for lack of trying, though.
No, actually,
I had my first child at 18, and that means I got the gal embarazada, as they say in Espanol, pregnant, and when I was only probably 17, if you do the math.
Mm-hmm.
I am shocked I made it that far. I'm shocked I made it to 17.
Without.
Because it wasn't for a lack of trying, believe you me. So.
Those were the days. I was in
those were the days.
And I wouldn't want to go back to then. I think I'd want to go back. If I could go back, I'd want to go back to like maybe when I turned 20. Because I'm cool with all the childhood. And my childhood was great in high school and all that. So I don't need to go back and really undo anything there. But if I could, I'd just go back to like my 20s. I'd make some investments. I think everybody would do that. Everybody would take back a fucking
you'd go to like 96 and buy $10,000 of this thing called Amazon.
Yeah, okay. Stocks guy, listen up. I need Amazon, Google. Google, how do you spell that? Just trust me, dude, all right? Google. Google. Write this shit down. I need a share, 100 shares of each of these, and I need to buy all of these sportsteams.com. Oh, though it's .com. The internet, it's coming. Don't worry about it. I need 49. I would buy all 32 teams.com because, of course, that's what they want. They don't want 49ers _ blah, blah, blah. They want just the team.com. And you're going to have to pay for that. 32 teams, say $250,000 a piece. Make a nice little chunk there. Put some of that into the stocks. Google, Amazon,
You know what?
all of that,
You can go to your
YouTube,
worst
everything.
enemy. Go to your worst enemy and tell them that they need to invest in MySpace.
Yeah.
You know,
MySpace. Put
bet the
everything
farm
you
on
got,
MySpace.
everything you got into MySpace. All right. Yeah, man, you do that, and man, you be set.
Matthew wrote me back. He said he's out of town, so no can do. Okay,
darn it. Maybe next Tuesday.
Right. We need the secret of his Trump.
Whatever, Matt. Put your life ahead of this.
Yeah,
podcast.
Matt. Yeah, Matt. What the hell, dude?
Yeah, Matt. I'm looking at his YouTube page, and he has some clips of like when he was on that soap opera. What was it called?
Oh, Coronation Street.
Coronation Street. Yeah. Hey, he was a looker, man. Matt Marsden was a looker. Because he modeled, sang, acted on TV and movies.
Dude, he was plucked off the street at like 16 or 17 to become a model. You know, and he's talking about this publicly. So I'm not talking tales out of school here. I'm not saying anything about Matthew that he hasn't said. He's told me that even when he started acting in Hollywood, he didn't have the nerve really to go up to women and ask them on dates. I'm like, do you own mirrors, bro?
Yeah, 6'3", and 6'3" too.
Right. When I met him, I was like, oh my God, we're basically almost the same height. And but he was a male model, like starting in his late teens, and like, you were intimidated to talk to women? Like, wow. But he's got 9 kids, so I think he figured that phobia out.
Yeah, he got over that one. He got over that bad boy. With flying colors.
He got over that and then some, it seems.
So anything's possible, kids.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. You can go from I don't know what to say to 9 babies. No problem.
Yeah.
It can be done.
It's a lot. He's got a baseball team on his hands there, you know?
Yeah, man, a couple backups.
You know? Yeah.
And that's good. Glad he's a friend of the show. Great guy.
Yeah, love the guy. He's an awesome dude. He's awesome.
Can't wait to have him back when he's done taking care of his family.
Last June he had a movie premiere, Protocol 7. It's a great movie. I went to it up in Santa Monica, and we hung out the next day. I went to his hotel right next to LAX. He was flying back to his home in Texas, and we were going to meet and get a coffee and just talk, because we'd talked a bunch online, and he'd been on the show, and we'd talked on Twitter, but we'd never met in person. So my wife and I spent the night up in Santa Monica. It's only 100 miles from here. So we met him at the hotel for just a coffee. We ended up talking for almost 4 hours. Dang. He is an amazing conversationalist, a really smart guy. And just one of the weirdest things about meeting actors and stuff that I've noticed, of the ones that I've befriended, is that they're completely down to earth. They don't act like, whoa, I'm a movie star. Oscar award. Have you heard of it? Like him and Dean both, it did surprise you, like, oh, this is just like talking to my cousin or my brother, like totally normal. But I suppose I would be attracted to people like that because, you know, I'll go to Comic-Con and autograph for hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands of people over a weekend. But people who meet me, like, I don't know, I feel like I act normal. Like, oh, I'm better than you because I know how to draw. Like, what a stupid notion. I'm a better human because I know how to draw. Like, how does that even make fucking sense?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm better at drawing. It doesn't mean I'm a better man, though. Like, geez.
Yeah, I'll fuck you up on drawing, but
as far as any fucking time you want, draw the shit out of things.
Here, give me I'll draw on your face right now, kid. Come here.
I'll draw on your girl's boob. I'll draw
like the whole thing, not just the top. Pull them out. I'm doing a mural.
When women do that, they let the guy autograph them like that.
Hey, I'm doing it.
But like the odds are that woman getting that boob autograph is like married or has a boyfriend. Come on.
That's not my problem, dude. I'm just signing your areola.
Not that your wife or mine would ever do that, but
no way.
In an imaginary scenario, if that were to happen, you just leave her there, right? You just drive home.
Yeah, we're done. I don't know how you're getting home. I don't know if your Uber account's still active, but you're not riding with me.
That's
No, we're shutting it down. There's no. Yeah. I don't know if it's because I make a Scorpio, but I'm just kidding. But to me, once I'm wronged, dude, that's it. I would piss on you if you were on fire.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but dude, once I've cut you off, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So
what? Yeah.
Don't fuck with me.
I've been going a lot longer than I intended to today. Thank you for joining, Jericho. We will get Matthew and other dads on here that we love. We'll get them on here to joke around, and we will get that Trump impersonation from him. But you got anything you want to promote before we get out of here? Because I got a page I still have to draw today. I haven't even started working. I woke up very
and
late.
I got videos to record as well.
Oh, yeah.
But no, just look up Jericho Green, whatever you find, click on it and subscribe to it. And that's greatly appreciated. And just, trying to keep up with this news cycle. The new administration is just fucking has a minigun right now, and they're just fucking just mowing shit down. And I'm trying to keep up with the story, so the content is flying. So just watch my platforms, and always new merch, doing new designs and shit like that. So keep your eyes peeled. Damn it.
All right. Follow me on X. I'm Big Man Comics there. And then here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, I'm Gabe Eltaeb. You see how to spell it there. Last name's a little tricky. Pay attention to how that E and the B go in my last name. BigManComics.com. Get a first printing of Dean Cain, All-American Lawman. We still have about 200 of those in stock, so you can still get the first printing of that. When those are gone, they're gone forever. And Empyrean, my sci-fi epic. It's a sci-fi kick to the face. Practically done, and almost have the contract for the marketing distribution done. Big announcement on that coming soon. The Unstoppable Tyrus, I'm more than halfway done illustrating that. So we've got great things coming for you. Dean Cain Volume 2. We got the Jericho Green and the Hammerheads book. I've got Tripoli, my military thriller. Thank you guys for being part of it and making my dreams come true as a writer and an illustrator. And hit the like, hit the share, and all that. And we will talk to you next week. Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.